Joining us now to discuss what immediate steps can be taken to deter further acts of terror is senior security and military analyst Colonel Olivier Rafowicz and Dr. Martin Sherman, the founder and executive director of the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies. Thank you both so much for coming in. So let's begin with the biggest question of them all. In your opinions, what immediate steps can be taken to deter further acts of terror like the one that we saw take place this morning?
Yeah, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to convey my condolences to the family and to the people around the victim. It's again something unbearable. Concerning what we should do, I believe that there are three immediate steps that should be carried out. First, to stop to send millions of dollars, cash money to Hamas. Number two, to stop family visit in the prisons to the Hamas terrorists. Stop totally. And third step, immediate, but we need, I would say, accurate and immediate intelligence. It's to get back to pinpoint elimination actions against military members of the Hamas in the Gaza Strip. But I mean that all these steps have to be carried out because right now the government is not doing enough in order to really change, I would say, change the status of this situation. Hamas is feeling stronger lately. Hamas believes that Israel is hesitating to take the right steps in order to change the situation. So when you are a terrorist, when you are covered and assisted by Iran, you feel that maybe you can do more. And I believe that if we, just one word please, if we don't do more, we will face more terrorist actions, not only from Gaza, in Gaza, around Gaza, but also in Jerusalem and in the, Samaria and Judea, and maybe in other places in Israel. So the situation is not simple.
Now, Dr. Sherman, what is your take?
Well, first of all, let me echo condolences to the family over this tragic incident. But I think the main problem is that we're not conceptualizing the conflict correctly, because the problem is not really operational, it's conceptual. And the question is, do you want to swat the mosquitoes or drain the swamps? Because if you don't drain the swamps, you're always going to have somewhere along the line a mosquito coming along. And I think when I say to conceptualize the conflict correctly, I mean it's not a conflict on the individual level, individual terrorists. It's a clash between two rival collectives that have incompatible founding narratives. Only one side can win. And therefore, I would agree with the sentiments that have been taken here that we need a harsher policy towards them. But it's not a matter only of deterring. It's a matter of crippling the ability of the other side to operate. And as I've said before, it's a mistake to see the Palestinian public as the victim of their leadership. The Palestinian public are the crucible in which that leadership was formed and from which it emerged. And therefore, there must be a far more stringent and robust policy towards the Palestinian collective as a whole.
Well, okay, I mean, we don't have somebody else to kind of combat that narrative there, but I do think it is important to take into perspective, the situation in which the Palestinians are living.
That's the consequence, right, not the cause.
Okay, well, let's go to the next issue here, which is Israeli Prime Minister's response. I want to move on because we're low on time, but the Israeli Prime Minister is now guaranteeing to extend Israeli sovereignty over all parts of the West Bank. We saw him say that in a soundbite earlier in the show. And he's pledged to build another 650 homes in Beiteinu. Is this push for more development in the West Bank something that is going to harm or stop terror?
Listen, we are right now in a fight against terror, and we are now in these days now, when we speak together, we are trying to track and to arrest and maybe to eliminate the killers who have just killed this young soldier, because he's not only a young student, he's also a new and young soldier. Unfortunately, now he passed away. But for the time being, there is no reason to look for in order to find pretext why terror is going on. Terror is going on because Hamas is willing to go to terror in order to change the situation, just to change the state of Israel.
It's not only Hamas.
Here, in this case, it's Hamas. No, I want us to get, no, it's Hamas.
In this case, we don't even know who did it.
We know. The intelligence know that it's Hamas, and we also got the intelligence valuable element that it's from Gaza. Everything now comes from Gaza. Gaza is becoming a strategic threat for Israel. It's not only Gaza and around Gaza. It's not only around Israel in the southern part. It's now all together, because when we talk about Judea and Samaria, it can be that it's only because there is this issue of Israeli in the Judea and Samaria area. But now we are facing, we believe, a real new wave of terror attacks from Hamas in Gaza against Israel. And this issue is now one new issue. It's going to be maybe a key issue, a center issue in the elections process in Israel. And when Prime Minister Netanyahu is talking about what he wants to do in Judea and Samaria, is something that is maybe saying because of the elections. But I mean, it's not the main issue. The main issue is, are we going to continue to face Hamas like we face Hamas by giving money every month? Are we going to change the situation, maybe to go to a massive military operation in the Gaza?
I can agree that it's a mistake to keep funding Hamas in Gaza. I've got no problem with that argument. The question is, after this massive military operation, what do you do? What are you going to do in, say, for instance, in Gaza in 20 years' time? What's the solution in Gaza? And I don't want to sound like old Cato, but the only solution that can preserve Israel as a nation state of the Jewish people over time is a large-scale operation for incentivized immigration to remove the recalcitrant population from inside Israel's borders. There is nothing else. Everything else is wishful thinking.
Right now, I'm listening and I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little surprised, because now we are facing a murder this morning. Our forces, the Shin Bet and the Israeli army, are doing their best to find the killers and to arrest them and to eliminate them, hopefully. And now someone else is talking about philosophical thoughts about the conflict.
That's not philosophical.
No, but right now we are not here to discuss philosophy. Now we are here to discuss and to present the situation like it is.
All right.
Excuse me.
We've run out of time, unfortunately, Dr. Sherman, but we will have you both back again to discuss this issue, because unfortunately it does seem like it is ongoing.